everyone, Jess here, and today I'm joined with Marouan Chida from EUROCONTROL. Thank
Hi.
you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. So firstly, how have we seen the air traffic management landscape develop in recent years, and what do you think have been the main drivers of these changes?
I think air traffic management is a kind of the backstage of aviation. And it's a lot of infrastructure, a lot of work, and in the recent years we have seen firsthand that air traffic management has been the bottleneck, for growth. We saw it, for example, due to the capacity crunches that we had in the past, in the 2019, and now we see, for example, with the unfortunate war in Ukraine and the fact that we have to use 90% of the airspace and also the military traffic coming in, etc., etc. We know that we have also a role to play in the sustainability debate with the the CO2, but also the non-CO2 trajectory management, welcoming new entrants to the game with autonomy, etc. So a lot of change vectors that are happening there, and it forces us, as I've come from the avionics part, but also deeply involved in ATM, and all of these forces actually, they force ATM system to rethink itself and to modernize.
Absolutely, and a lot of the changes that you said, their challenges seem to be around efficiency. Is that correct? So, is this something that we can see technology come to bridge that gap and optimize how everything is used?
It's a very good observation, because at the end of the day, air traffic management is delivering a service. It is about letting everybody fly. And if it's about letting everybody fly the best possible trajectory. So efficiency is actually in the hardcore of the work. Safety, obviously, the first one. Looking at, for example, at sustainability, I mean, everybody's saying that there is no silver bullet, right? So I think we have a role to play. We have a duty actually to go and check every single tiny optimization that we have to do. And there, since it is a service, and when you have a brand new airplane with a lot of new technologies on board, be it like electrification, be it hydrogen, be it optimized trajectories, be it more connectivity to know more about where the airplane position is and how we optimize the operation as a whole. What ATM is trying to do is to take advantage of all the latest technologies to make sure that we let the customers fly the best possible trajectory. And we don't downgrade actually the potential of those new aircraft.
And how do you tackle integrating these new or emerging technologies into existing frameworks? Is there friction in this process?
Congrats for the good question, because it's one of the biggest challenges, because when you create new types of vehicles, the natural reaction is to say, hey, I need my space. So basically you have smaller drones, they need their space, and the more you go higher in the food chain, I would say, the more you claim space that is also reserved for other activities, etc. So the thing that we would like to avoid really is to have segregated airspace. We really want to make sure that we let everybody play in the same sandbox, I would say. And there, if we take an analogy, for example, we can take the analogy of the telecom industry. There you have, let's say in your mobile phone, you have different providers, and yet we are all coexisting in the same place. So we need to make sure that we create the rules for the safe operations of all the vehicles that are up there, and not create pockets of airspace and then finally downgrade the whole performance of the big picture.
Fantastic. And you touched at the start on the various changes we're currently seeing. How do you think the whole landscape is going to look different, say, in the next decade? Where will we be at? And are there measures you can take to proactively get us to this stage?
So in Europe, we have a vision for that. We call it the Digital European Sky. It's a vision where we leverage the latest technologies to make sure that all the actors in the system, they coexist and they operate. For that, we see, for example, the pattern of welcoming the new type of airspace usages, not only the electrical, the hydrogen, the more efficient aircraft types, etc., but also the new type of operations like higher airspace operations, space travel, and this is also expected to be booming, and it's already happening today. So we're working on really putting the foundations so that basically one of the challenges that we have is we want to build a scalable system. We don't want to rush into making patches to the existing system and then end up being stuck again, 10 years from now. So with a program like CESAR, for example, the Single European Sky ATM Research, EUROCONTROL is a big player there, and we try to put the bricks that we can leverage later on to have a more, let's say, exponential growth of these type of operations.
Fantastic. Thank you for elaborating on that. And how do you think events like Aerospace Tech Week help to drive meaningful change in the industry?
One thing that is really important in our line of business is to make sure that we listen and we connect to the customers, to the ones that are actually paying for the service. And we have to remember that in all digital transformation programs, the customer experience is at the center. So we need to care about how the airline is really enjoying the service, and the airline is caring about how the passenger and the citizen, etc., etc. So here in this conference, for example, you see a lot of manufacturers that provide connectivity solutions for the aircraft working on autonomy. Just behind this wall, there is a fancy robot doing autonomy on the avionics part. And I think our role is, as an industry, is to make sure that we leverage the best of every part of the system, and this is why we come to those events, and also our colleagues here come to ATM events, and we need to avoid that having backstage that is really disconnected from the scene.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you for coming today, and I really appreciate you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the interview, for the opportunity.